Now, joining me for a reaction, Freedom Caucus Chairman Congressman Andy Biggs, along with Congressman-elect Darrell Issa and Fox News contributor David Webb. Gentlemen, thank you very much for joining me. It is, I vaguely remember another Christmas Eve that was approaching and a thing called Obamacare. The urgency that happens, that suddenly things get passed without enough time to read it or to know or to veto or to not. Congressman Biggs, I love what you're doing. You've been very direct about the nature of what's been happening. Tell me what you think now with President Trump's statement, what you think is going to happen from here on out.
Well, this is the worst bill, and it typifies the swamp because it's terrible both from a process and a substantive point of view. So I'm hoping, I've actually written a letter with a good number of my colleagues. We've delivered the letter asking the president to veto this bill, but there is a procedure, and Chad covered it, and that is if we move time-wise, you might get that pocket veto, which would be great because then you're not going to have to come in and deal with an override issue that the president would not maybe win because we saw it. But Tammy, this bill is so bad. They added 60 separate bills into this massive package. I mean, think about that. I mean, these are bills that couldn't get passed on their own, and they threw those in. And so this bill should be vetoed, and I'm hoping it will be.
It's a shame, Congressman Issa. It's amazing, one, that you wanted to go back into this mess, and you've done it. But what's amazing is that, it's like they think Daddy's going to be gone. That Trump is somehow going to be gone, and they literally transformed back into the monster that required the election of Donald Trump. Do you really think that after, January 20th, whatever happens here, that this is in fact going to be business as usual again?
Well, if we don't basically stop this bill, it will certainly be a good down payment on both parties being guilty. As Andy said, there's something in here for everyone. Some of the, quote, 60 separate bills are bills that Republicans who should vote no on this voted yes because their pet project, their pet bill got in there. You mentioned some of them. You didn't even get into, at a time when we have record home deliveries, the post office getting a $9 billion Christmas gift, when in fact they've been losing billions for years and are unwilling to make reforms. So the list of who's getting propped up is unbelievable. And the fact is, Andy's right. The president needs to pocket veto this, force the Congress to come back, pass a spending bill, and strip out some of the absurdities that are in this bill. Republicans, including Andy, and if I were there myself, and I will be after the 3rd, certainly could bring it to themselves to vote for some of this, but not so much that is completely unnecessary. And I'm thrilled that they don't want Nancy Pelosi, but let's be honest, many of those Democrats didn't get enough of this pork and wanted more, and under Joe Biden, they expect to get more.
Yeah, David, it's fascinating because we've got a situation here where this is the COVID-19 bill, where the nation is still struggling, businesses are collapsing, the future is again foggy. We've got a lot of things that are unknown. Families are deteriorating. It was for us. And suddenly that goes out the window. Suddenly it's like that is the least thing that's mentioned that this bill deals with. You're a cultural critic. What's your sense of what this means? I mentioned it's like Daddy. They think Daddy's going to be gone. After everything we've been through, is this acceptable? What do you think the American people expect?
Well, the American people expect this from our Congress, unfortunately. But you said it. They think that Daddy's gone. I'm with the pocket veto. I think that is the way to go forward. However, why are we to expect that there will be different behavior from the Republicans who want Trump gone? You were right. This is the reason he was elected. The Democrats who want to follow Pelosi and Schumer down this path of spending, of Christmas tree projects. Matter of fact, it's an insult to Christmas tree projects, how far they've gone with this pork. A pox on both houses. And I'm with the president. Tammy, I'll tell you something. I tweeted about this the night when the bill was passed. It's gotten over 10,000 comments, hundreds of thousands of impressions. Americans were calling in my radio show about this today, and they are frankly pissed off, and they have a right to be. $600 is a pittance. We should be reopening America, reopening American businesses. And let me say this to Americans. Remember the Tea Party movement? There were those that co-opted it. My group was never co-opted. Many were not. You need to rise up again on that level. Tens of millions of Americans need to tell Republicans and Democrats that this can't stand. We're paying the taxes to pay for their Christmas tree projects in Pakistan, Sudan, in other countries, while we get a pittance. That's beyond insulting. That's it's almost disgusting beyond description.
Well, it is. Gentlemen, thank you very much.